When does your gardening year begin? Or maybe a better question might be, does your gardening year ever end? If you're a gardener like me, you're always thinking about gardening every day. And right now, it's January, and I'm in my garden, thinking about what I'm going to do today and next month and the entire year. Join me for the first of a series of videos where every month I'll be in my garden, showing you what I'm actively doing, what I'm planning to do, sharing some of my philosophy, and just letting you see a little bit more of the Gardener Scott world. Hi, I'm Gardener Scott, and I'm walking through my Colorado Zone 5B garden. It's January, and this is actually a pretty nice day. The temperature is 42 degrees Fahrenheit, and this is the warmest day that we've had in a couple weeks. Last week, we had a period of 3 days. The warmest temperature was 14 degrees Fahrenheit. That's pretty typical for the end of January and beginning of February, but I still get outside, even on a cool day like this, because this time of year, in January, I can see the structure of my garden. I can see the trees, and they're not hidden by the leaves that are covering them. I can see the ground, the mulch. I can see everything as it is, unencumbered by the plant growth that will be coming in a few months. And so as I walk through the garden today, and I'll let you follow along, I'll be looking at what is happening now, what I need to think about, if there's anything I need to fix, where I can add plants and add structures. Because while my garden year continues year-round, this is the time that I'm starting to think about the peak season, when most of my activity is going to be outside, here, every day, for hours. And it begins on cool January mornings like this. These warmer days with the sun and the temperatures are enough to melt most of our recent snow. But there are still areas of my garden where the snow doesn't melt. In fact, some of this snow will be here for months because it doesn't get the sunshine. The warmth is not enough to melt the snow. And I've talked about mapping the shade and the sun in your garden. Today's one of those days where I come out and observe where the snow is, where the edge is. So as I come up on these beds, I can see that they get enough sun, they get enough warm to melt. This can influence the type of plants that I put in here. Yes, with snow on the ground in January, I'm planning where I'm going to put plants. The snow's not going to be here forever, but I can see what's happening with the sun and the shade and decide that some of these spots that are shaded where snow remains for months might be places that I can put plants that don't need a lot of sun. They need some of that shelter. It's a microclimate throughout my garden, and these are the kind of days that I try to identify those areas. I do an assessment on some of the beds like this one. This is where the garlic is planted. Had a nice layer of straw mulch, but with the wind, the snow, and all the weather we've been having, some of the soil is bare. This is a project that I can work on today, adding more straw, increasing the mulch, because I don't like to have bare soil exposed, particularly during the winter months. This bed up here, where I've got a mix of straw and some grass clippings and leaves, has held together pretty well. So I don't need to work on this bed. So I'm using this nice weather opportunity to look at all my beds. The surface and the mulch is just one thing. I'm also looking at the bed itself, because sometimes when you get a heavy snow, that might be enough to collapse a side. It might affect the trellising that you have in your garden. So I come out and I'm looking at the bed structure, the mulch, And it also helps to remind me that some of these beds I didn't amend in fall, and I need to make sure I add to my list that they probably need amending in spring. Because I can come out and I can see everything, the bare bones of my garden, it helps reinforce some of my planning. So this year, I'm actually going to be adding tunnels to this walkway. So I have this arch where I have grapes that will be growing up. And my granddaughter suggested that I actually create more like that. So my plan is to have some more cattle panel arches extend out this way, add another one right here as kind of an offshoot. And so on a day like today, I can just stand and think, just look through the archway in this direction, anticipate what it would look like in this direction and this direction, so that in a few months, when I actually start some of this construction, I've spent the time out in the garden envisioning what it's going to look like, so that I can put the plan down on paper, get all the supplies I need, and then actually put it in place. This is the time of year that I inspect all the trees in my garden as well. And this is the perfect day to start giving them a very close inspection. Midwinter is when I normally do the structural pruning of my trees. And so I'll spend a whole day coming out and pruning everything. But I spend some time before that taking a look and trying to get an idea of how much time it's going to take. Now this plum tree grew quite a bit last year. Right now I'm looking for any damage that the recent storms may have caused. I might be able to see some disease early on like this, but I'm getting a feel for how much I'm going to need to prune off in another week or two. This one has a lot of branches that are growing toward the center of the tree. Those are going to be ones I need to remove. So this tree, it's not going to be a lot of work, but it may be 20 or 25 minutes of my time when I get to pruning day. I'll do the same thing with all the rest of the trees that I have spread throughout my garden. I'm spending this time to look at the structures in my garden. Now this new fenced area was just built this last year. I stained one side. I haven't stained this side. And so this is an opportunity to inspect it, see how it's holding up to the weather, so that when it warms up again and I can begin staining, I can get an idea if there's any boards that need to be replacing, or if I can get right to the stain. So many of my spring projects, the activities, the chores that I'm going to have to take care of, I can start scheduling on a day like this when I'm not actually doing any work. I'm just getting an overall feel for the garden. So there are a couple boards that need to be replaced. That takes a little bit of time. I add that to my list, and then when the weather's good enough, the nights are warm enough, I'll be ready for staining. As I leave this area of the garden, I'm looking at the mulch as well. I have a lot of mulch around these trees. And it's obvious where the dogs run going from the house to the back. They've worn away the mulch. So this is another one of those chores I'll have to take care of. It won't take long adding mulch to this area. One of the last things I did before the snows came was to add mulch around this bed. It's clear, even with all the melting of the snow, that the mulch has held. So I'll just extend it up against the edge of these pavers, and this whole area will be ready for another growing season. I'm also doing an inspection of all my fruit bushes and my roses, because these plants have been in the ground now for almost 5 years, and it's the time that they need more pruning, particularly for these gooseberries and these currants. The bushes are going to need to be cut back. I'm going to have to take out some of the old growth, identify the new growth. This one, kind of like that plum tree, is going to take a lot of work. There's a lot of growth inside. And these have nice little thorns on them. So here's another one of those activities. It may take me 30 minutes or more with this plant alone. Trying to figure out how long it's going to take. Probably need a day just for my fruit bushes. And I've been able to identify it on a day like this. I experimented with a couple different types of mulch on my asparagus beds. This bed looks great. All of the mulch has held. I used a little bit more grass and a little bit more leaves. So I've got pretty much no work to do on this asparagus bed. That's not the case with this asparagus bed. I used more of the leaves alone, and it's clear they clumped up on one side and were pretty much blown off on the other side. So add this to the list, incorporate more mulch with more grass for this asparagus bed. Here's a chore that I meant to do before winter set in, but just never got around to it. I need to cut back all of these raspberries. Now I have a problem with raspberry cane borer, a pest that will just devastate the raspberries. And so one of the ways to counteract that pest is to cut back the raspberries. These heritage raspberries will fruit on the primocane, the first year's cane. So I can cut them all the way down to the ground and they'll grow back up and I can harvest. But I have to cut them all the way down to the ground to deal with that pest. Add one more to the list to take care of this activity in the next couple months. As I built this fence for this walled garden, I left this section open because I'm going to put bricks and pavers and move in a lot of heavy stuff. So this is where I'm going to move it in. The last time we had a warm stretch like this, I was able to get in and actually begin leveling this area. It does have a slight slope to it. I've been working on building this soil for a few years now with mulch and manure. And so I could get down and scrape some of that off, level this area, and I moved some of that to the lower spots. As I look at the snow, again anticipating the microclimates, I can see that most of this area is going to be frozen for at least the next month, maybe longer than that. So I'll still be able, based on the snow melt, to take some of the soil off of this higher section and move it to the lower section. And then also bring in some other soil and amendments to help level this entire area. This is going to be a multi-day job. I did a good job last year adding more containers to my garden, like this green stock and these big pots. But while I was adding them, I wasn't filling them, and I have no plants in them. I saved that activity for this year. So I have these pots. I have the pots on the other side. I have the pots over there. I have some pots by the gazebo, all that need to be filled and planted, in addition to these 2 stone beds that require a lot of plants. So a lot more to add to the list. Each of these pots are going to take time, and I need the plants to fill them. There's a lot of work to be done here in this pollinator garden, at least a day, probably 2. I need to prune this elderberry bush. There's a few other bushes that need to be cut back. I did a pretty good job of cleaning up the perennials on this side, but I haven't gotten to this side yet. So a lot of more plants need to be cut back. This area needs to be cleaned. There's some areas that need additional mulch. But with what I've cleaned up and what's left to do, I've been able to identify the bare spots. So there's some spots there and there and there and there and there and there, all of which will need new perennials. new grasses, some annuals in some of these cases. So I made note of that while I was doing a lot of the cleanup, but seeing the garden bare also helps me identify some of the areas that maybe I missed at the end of year assessment that I did a couple months ago. This is an area of my garden that I've been adding to. I've had a few beds, a few trees, and now I'm thinking about what else I can do in this garden. I'm thinking about putting a tree there, thinking about putting a tree there, thinking about putting a tree over there. And so again, this is a day to just stand and think, how would a tree look there? How would a tree look over there? And just take some time, not necessarily choosing the tree yet, but thinking about whether that's appropriate to put a tree or not. That's the biggest question, just spending the time and thinking about it and trying to envision what it will look like years down the road. There are some plants that show life even in the dead of winter, like these strawberries. They're so durable and they can hold up to the frigid temperatures and the snow that we've had lately. It's wonderful getting out and seeing green leaves in a place like this that's just so cold. I can inspect, look, and anticipate that a lot of these dried leaves are going to need to be cleaned up. No rush. They're still doing great. They add insulation to the strawberries to keep them growing. But it's just kind of nice, enjoying growth, life in the middle of winter. So in our brief time together, we've been able to walk through my garden, observe, inspect, analyze, and plan what's coming in the months ahead. Now I can take this information and go inside and prioritize. So as the days are warm enough and as I have the time, I can take care of some of these things on my list. And I can start figuring out which plants are going to go into those pots and maybe which trees are going to go in that area of my garden. It all started today. Enjoying the sun, enjoying the little bit of life in my garden, but most of all, just enjoying the garden, being outside, soaking up the energy, and using a winter's day as another gardening day. I'm Gardener Scott. Enjoy gardening.